What's up, guys? It's DJ. Welcome to Gamma Bro Hulk Reviews. Now for your Gamma dose of the Jade Giant. Today's featured Hulk item is this Walmart exclusive 2008 Edward Norton Incredible Hulk, and the review is coming up next. Thanks for joining me today, guys. So today's featured item is from the 2008 Incredible Hulk movie. This figure is very interesting. In the wake of popularity of the 2008 movie, there were a few exclusives that were released by Hasbro, both at Target and Walmart. Target had the Hasbro Marvel Legends limited edition 6-inch figure, and Walmart got a 10.5-inch Incredible Hulk version. This isn't like a Marvel Legends. Walmart has its own unique sculpt and creation of the Incredible Hulk, and I'll show you what it looks like right now. This is a Walmart exclusive. It's a very, very interesting figure. When it was released, it came in limited batches. What's nice that Hasbro did is they made a very, very unique sculpt, both in the face and the body for the figure, and the quality is pretty interesting. So we will start up close on the face. I think they did a pretty good job to get the likeness of the Edward Norton Hulk. I think it's a decent job. I do like the sculpt work on the hair and the face. I think it has a pretty decent resemblance to the Edward Norton Hulk. From head to toe, this is a completely unique sculpt, which is interesting, but pretty good sculpt work for the skin throughout. Huge traps, a little bit of vascularity, pretty big bis and tris. I think they're decent. So for the torso, this huge burly chest, in my opinion, it's almost even just too burly and too big in certain angles. Like, I think it looks pretty good there. From the front, it's just really big and wide, especially in these specific areas right here. I wish it was filled out a little bit more on the upper chest. It's very much a lower chest development. But overall, it doesn't look bad. It's just really wide and protrudes out pretty far on the bottom area. And I think if it was filled out a little bit more on the top, I think it would match a little better overall in this area. Here's the ab work, a little bit of vascularity running through there. You can see the rib area. Very like tiny waist, and then just the huge burly chest. If this area was a little bit thicker, that would help as well. Pretty unique construction, which I'll get into later with articulation. Very nice developed wide back. Huge traps that fade right into the back and the lats. Again, really like classic physique, muscularity with the really tiny waist and then the huge wide back. Here's the bright blue pants, extremely glossy and bright blue into the knees and the big calves, and then the detail in the feet. You can see decent texture work on the nails. Definitely at certain angles it looks great, and other angles it just looks a little funny to me. So for paint, we have a very flat texture for the face. Okay job on the teeth. We got the green gums. Pretty good job on the eyebrows and the eyes. Again, pretty accurate on Edward Norton's hair. I don't think it looks terrible. A little glossy on the hair area. Now we have a little bit of browns throughout the neck region and a little bit of the areas all throughout the body. So it is a nice little hints of brown throughout. Now for the arm area, it is decently glossy compared to the chest. So it doesn't match all that well, but the color is the same, so it kind of blends. But in certain angles, when light hits, you can definitely tell that the arms and the pants are very glossy compared to the face and the chest area. But again, a little bit of browns, decent job on the sculpt. It's just very interesting proportions for the bis and tris and shoulders. Really huge forearms, big fists. But okay job on the paint. You can see a little bit of the browns throughout. Now with the pants, I do like the color blue. I wish it wasn't as shiny for the pants. I don't like a really glossy pant. Wish it was more flat. And the lack of texture also hurts it just a little bit. If it was texturized like blue jeans, I think that would bring out just the quality of the pants a little bit better. You can just see the glossy pants compared to the skin really pops. A little too much in my opinion, but sculpt work on the pants isn't bad. Interesting gaps. We'll get in later with articulation. Very little brown on the legs. You can see a little bit on the calves, the back of the calves, but at least they still put that in there a little bit. And then a little bit of brown there as well on the feet. But decent color green. I do like the color green that they chose, but the blue I wish was a little bit darker and texturized. So with sculpt and paint, grade-wise, I think this is a very unique sculpt. It does stand out. A little funky in certain areas, and with the weird articulation in certain areas, it just, design-wise, looks a little off, but overall it's not bad. So I will give it a B+ for sculpt, and for paint, I will give it a B. So now for quality. It's interesting with these figures, quality-wise, because when they released Titan series Hulk figures that are about almost the same size, this is about 10.5 inches, and the Titan series later on is about 10 inches with most variations. The quality of this is much better compared to figures like that. As the years went on, the bigger 10-inch Hulks got cheaper and cheaper with really thin, blown, hollow plastic. This isn't that. This is a complete vinyl figure for the most part. The stomach, torso, head is more of a vinyl, but a really thick PVC vinyl that is decently heavy and doesn't feel hollow at all. The arms, legs are more of a PVC, a plastic. That's why it's a little bit shinier, but again, not hollow. These are very thick and heavy. It doesn't feel cheap in your hand compared to the Titan series stuff. So its quality for this is definitely way better compared to the newer Titan series figures. Again, this is about 10.5 inches and weighs a few pounds, maybe 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds. It's more heavy than you think it is, which is nice. And the quality really isn't that bad. So if you're implementing articulation with this, then the quality will drop a little bit. But if you're just talking about quality of materials and paint used, it's really not bad. And I'll give it like a B+ overall. If they pick the different paint on the pants and a little bit better job on the face, I would probably give this an A- quality wise, but I do like the colors they chose, and they gave the little bit of brown wash throughout the green. So it's really not bad overall. So now we'll get into articulation. First, we'll start by saying that there's very strange gaudy pins on each end of the neck right here, which looks a little weird, but the range of motion is okay. He has big traps again here, so the head does not go side to side all that far, but extends a decent amount, but no 360. The back of the neck here prevents the head from going up all that much, so you only have about that much of range going up, and you have a decent amount of range going down, so Hulk can look down a decent amount, which is okay. As for the joints and the shoulders, you can extend this a little bit, do a full 360 on both ends, which is nice tight joints. You have the articulation here, so it can extend about this much, and also here. But what is strange is it is different on each end. So his left arm goes up shoulder-wise a little bit more than the right, which is very strange. There is a single joint in the elbow. Again, very ugly pins on the side. But as for the range of motion, it's actually pretty decent because the bicep isn't that big here, and there's this huge gap here in the actual joint itself, so it's very visible. But because it's so visible and extended, you get a decent amount of range with the arm, which isn't terrible. So there's definitely a good and bad to that. It's just very apparent and visible and a little gaudy, but it does develop a little bit of range because of that. And there is no articulation in the wrists whatsoever, so you cannot move the hands. So Hulk's arms go back pretty far, and you can get into a nice Hulk smash position. I wish you can bend the wrists a little bit just to get it a little bit better, but it gives you a decent look for the Hulk smash. There is no ab crunch and there's no waist swivel at all, but you get a nice swivel through the top of the rib area, but not underneath here. And here's where the figure falls very, very short in regards to articulation. Since there's no joints here, you have these really, really ugly thigh seams here, which are very noticeable. They try to go with the flow of the fold here, but there's no fold here at all, so it doesn't look natural on this side, so it stands out quite a bit. And the swivel basically gets the leg to go full 360 on both ends, which there's really no reason to do that, but it can do that. You cannot move the legs forward and back, which is just weird, and you cannot move the legs outward at all. So you just have this weird rotation swivel. So you have to have the legs in a fixed position just to get the figure to stand correctly. There's only one way to balance it. So it's just a really terrible thing for articulation. But with stuff like this being 10.5 inches, you're not really going to be playing with this with other figures. It's its own unique size. So you can just Hulk smash and play, and kids will be able to play with this pretty easily. But you won't really be able to get Hulk into any crazy articulated poses. As for the knees, you have very, very, very visible joints here. So you will see them. The legs will be in a fixed position. And because they're bent, these will always be visible. When you hide it, Hulk just looks weird and it'll be too forward for it to balance. So you have to pull it back a little bit to show those gaps, which just looks ugly. So if they were going to do this and force you to be in this fixed position, they should have just made these knees higher to kind of save and hide the gaps here, because the articulation isn't good at all. So it's really not worth having these huge gaps, in my opinion. They should have just made it so it's less visible. And with the lack of articulation, you're not really losing much anyway. There is no ankle joint or swivel or rotation in the feet at all. So again, you are in a complete fixed position. So you have to rotate the thighs and have these huge gaps and get the feet to be able to be completely flat, where Hulk will be able to stand straight up. Now, compared to Titan series figures, I do think the articulation of Sculpt is just a tad bit better than those newer figures. So that does play into the quality and just overall appearance of the figure, which does look okay. But as for articulation in itself, it is not very good compared to 6-inch figures, and I will give it a C overall for articulation. Now I will show you a size comparison. Here's the classic Toy Biz Hulk. About 4.5 inches. You can see just the size difference of the 10.5 inch figure. So it is a mixed bag with the wow factor. On one end, you do have a 10.5 inch exclusive Edward Norton Hulk. So if it's your favorite version of Hulk in the MCU, then you will say that it has a decent amount of wow factor just because it's the only one made of this size, of this specific type of Hulk, which is very unique. So it does have a little bit of wow factor, but I don't think the figure is like exceptionally done to where it's all A's and just the best figure ever. So it won't stand out incredibly well compared to the rest of the figures. So in my opinion, for wow factor, I will give it right down the middle of an average B, which again, it's a very nice figure. I just don't think it has the crazy impact needed to really state that it does have the wow factor. I'll give one more 360 of the figure. And give my overall thoughts. So it's very cool that Hasbro released an exclusive figure dedicated to the 2008 Incredible Hulk movie. And it's completely its own figure, its own sculpt, which is nice. And I do enjoy that very much. Quality is surprisingly good compared to the newer Titan stuff of that size. In regards to packaging, it was an open packaging. You can see it on my thumbnail. So it wasn't boxed up completely. It was in one of those outer packages where the figure is able to be touched and completely visible. So stuff like that. I mean, there's no reason really to keep it in the package when it's out like that. There's nothing super unique about the box art or anything that really makes it stand out. So most people definitely open it. So overall, I will give this figure a score of a B. The sculpt and paint is decent. The quality is very good. The articulation is not very good. And it does have a little bit of wow factor to it. So it's just overall score of a B. I think it's very, very nice figure. If you like bigger Hulk figures and if you're a fan of the 2008 movie, definitely pick it up. It's a no-brainer. I think you actually will enjoy it. Like once you put it on a shelf, very, very durable. The paint takes beating. And overall, it's just a very, very cool figure. And I'm happy that Walmart and Hasbro agreed to make it. So it is a little bit of limited edition to it. It did come out in limited quantities in 2008. You can still see these figures available. A lot of people don't realize the figure exists. Because of its durability and quality, it still holds up. So you can still find these. There's not that many out there, but because of the quality, that it still stands the test of time and easily available. Online stores, you'll find it on average $20, $30 plus shipping. Decent price, and again, just because of the quality and durability of the figure, it is available, so it won't be very hard for you guys to find. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Please Hulk smash the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Tell me what MCU version is your favorite, if it's the 2003, 2008, or the current MCU Hulk. But I guarantee it's not the Smart Hulk. I don't think I've ever heard a person ever tell me that Smart Hulk, Mark Ruffalo, is their favorite. But the Joss Whedon original Avengers Hulk is still a very, very cool Hulk. And I do like that one. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you when I see you. Have a wonderful day. Peace.
Peace.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.